Rackspace customers, all of them, are doing a lot of transforming technology. They're transforming their businesses. And we're excited to bring you more of those stories here today. Our first customer presentation comes from one of the world's leading medical and travel security assistance companies. They are in the business of saving and protecting lives from more than 1,000 locations in 90 countries and with over 11,000 employees worldwide. And here's more on International SOS. We've got a video.
International SOS is a global lifesaver. It supports over 10,000 international organizations, striving to ensure their staff are safe overseas. While most business travel issues are minor, the occurrence of natural disasters, disease outbreaks, crime and terrorism are a reminder of the need to think ahead. International SOS therefore assesses potential risks using its in-country expertise to advise on preventative programs while offering routine assistance and emergency response.
In Nigeria, we have the most deadly form of malaria present. Our clients are very concerned about this risk to their employees. We provide them with information before the employees come here. We can supply them with the medicines and support to prevent catching malaria. And then once they're here, if they do become ill with malaria, we have the clinics and the people to treat them and get them back to health.
I think the real unique point of this organization is the way that we work together as a network. And teams are going to work on the same IT system, they are going to speak live, and they really are going to function as one unit. We are really transforming the life and the outlook for the people that we are dealing with. Not a day is similar to the other one, and every day is special.
So please welcome the Global Director of Application and Infrastructure Operations for International SOS, Mark Harfeld. Mark.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. You know, when I started out in IT, it was much simpler. You know, there was one job basically in IT. It was a network administrator, and that, you know, I see some nods around the room. You know what I'm talking about. That means you were the DBA, you were the infrastructure guy, you were making cables by hand. Things now are a lot more complex. It's carrying on from the theme from the last presentation. We're a very mobile workforce, and that's really what International SOS does, is that we provide a duty of care for people that are traveling away from their home office for business purposes. We've been a Rackspace customer for 11 years. I've led the relationship with Rackspace for 4.5 of those years. During that time, we've migrated from a physical, internally managed data center to private cloud, and then moved to public cloud. Our virtualization ratio when I joined was around 40%. Now we're at 97%. We've massively increased our resiliency and uptime. And when you think about how easy, quote unquote, easy IT was back when I started, and I think about the kinds of skill sets I need on the staff now, it's very different. It's a very different world. And that's really where Rackspace comes in. Rackspace has helped us bring up flexible architectures. We're able to do complex change activities without downtime. And I think about all the security experts, if I think about the network folks that are helping us establish global traffic management with local traffic management configurations so that we can globally deliver our products. It's really a very different world, and that's what Rackspace does very well. So we've got fantastic engineers, even to the point that I reached out to Rackspace operations and said, hey, how do you guys work even your hiring process? And they walked me through it. It's very much a partnership. Rackspace is a customer of ours in the same way that we're a customer of theirs. It's a very tight relationship, and they even help us get better in the same way that we help them when they're sending people out in the field to do work. So we've flipped our CapEx and OpEx ratio on its head by optimizing our run spend. We're doing a lot more efficiently, and it's really just been a tremendous experience with Rackspace. New markets, new products, new capabilities. We've accomplished a lot, and we've got a lot of really interesting things on the roadmap as well that Rackspace is helping us to deliver. As you saw, we're truly a global company. We've got physical presence in a lot of different places. We can get to places that even governments can't get to. We're really tied into the theme that you saw in the last presentation about cloud, a mobile workforce. Global mobility levels are on track to double by 2020. So with concerns like Zika and security risks, those things are higher and higher on the corporate agenda when you think about how do you keep your folks safe when they're out doing work on your behalf. 71% of our customers are highly concerned with their exposure to potential terror attacks. So those are big, scary things. But a lot of what I do is keeping folks protected so that they don't get into those situations. So when you talk about the volumes of data, and the data is the new oil, we do a lot of energy exploration support, but we have a ton of data. And what we do is we marry together who's going to be where with what's happening where, and we make sure that before folks get on that plane, they understand what they're heading into. So those are complex activities, but that's really the secret sauce that helps us keep people safe, so that that 1% of sexy things that we're doing where we're moving folks in air ambulances or what have you, the bulk of the hard work is that 99% of making sure folks never get into that situation. And that's really where, when we look at the evolving world, the recent global challenges, the things you see on CNN, if you're not a customer of International SOS, you've surely seen us on CNN with the Fukushima disasters and with Zika virus, with Ebola, and with the terror attacks. We really take very seriously our duty of care for folks that are traveling on behalf of our customers. And I think that one thing that I want to stress in this talk is just continuing the theme, mobility and moving to the cloud. We've now moved from physical data centers to multi-cloud. We have 27 assistance centers around the world, globally distributed medical sites, and at the hub of that, what really makes all that work together is information technology. So connecting doctors with patients, connecting travelers with their head of global security back at the home office, managing risk for those folks so that they can see what their risk profile looks like. We've got unparalleled large global reach with local presence and expertise. For example, we have services on ground, air, and water. We put doctors on oil rigs. We're doing telemedicine, cross-border services, local guarantees of payment. All those things are powered by the cloud. They're powered by mobility, mobile computing, and really the most poignant thing to think about is where do we go from here, because it's an ever-changing landscape. When you think about medical information, the kinds of things that we deal with. We've got in 2018 in December, there'll be some cybersecurity laws that are going to start to be enforced in mainland China that we've got to be ready for. And Rackspace is helping us with that, with localized solutions, but thinking about how do we deliver these solutions globally. So it started with virtualization, and it's evolved to a cloud-first architecture approach at International SOS. So our tiers are first public cloud, if we can do it, then private cloud, and then internally hosted where we need to. We've continued with multi-cloud operations. You've seen some really interesting things that Rackspace is bringing out in terms of their portal and how do you manage projects, how do you interact with teams that are dealing with multiple cloud providers. When you look at the globally diverse privacy law compliance with EU requirements, and as I was mentioning about mainland China and special requirements in Russia, it's a highly complex, diverse landscape, and the security landscape is ever changing. Our customers are becoming more and more sophisticated as well. They just expect this. This is just table stakes for them. They expect that we're going to be able to do these things. We're going to be able to meet the local requirements, but we're also going to be able to deliver globally. So I think that one thing that I want to leave you guys with is our partnership with Rackspace is what has enabled us to deliver on these customer expectations. But it's not just about the expectations from today. It's the expectations for tomorrow and for 5 years from now. And 10 years from now, who knows? I get excited just waking up every day, seeing what's new. As we saw in the prior presentation, there's so much cool stuff happening. Worldwide reach, human touch is our motto. I think the things that have made International SOS great are very aligned with the corporate culture within Rackspace. Fanatical support from Rackspace is very much aligned with that human touch. And worldwide reach, what's made International SOS great, is very much aligned with what Rackspace helps us do. We have data centers all around the world. We have data centers in Hong Kong, but now we're developing a solution in mainland China to meet those new needs. And it's ever evolving. And as we evolve with our business needs and our client demands, Rackspace is keeping pace and thinking about the what's next for us. Some of our core precepts at International SOS are respect, care, expertise. And I think that when you look at what Rackspace brings to bear, as I was mentioning earlier about the way they hire great people, they do great engineering, they hire experts. Those are the things that really are near and dear to our hearts, because we're very passionate about the things that we do at International SOS, and so is Rackspace. They've never told me that there's something that they can't do for me. We're always figuring out how do we get to that next step. So as a customer of now going on 12 years with Rackspace, we're excited to see what's next. Thanks for your time.